Hey guys, in today's video I received a $10,000 printer so that I can continue to start my business. I also prep my garage so that it can be heated, insulated, and that way I can work out of that shop. So we're working on the garage and you might notice something's a little off. The pegboard's gone and also this bench here. I still need to pull this one just because I need to insulate it. As you can see, there's some there along the wall, but this was in the way. So once I get that out, I can then keep insulating it. I actually need to sheetrock up there so that the guy on like a week or two can put up the heater over in that corner, so that this thing will stay nice and warm, so that over on this side of the shop I can put the printer and the computer and have everything set up to start working out of it. I did end up getting, that's the vinyl I'm starting with. I'm just gonna try it, see how it goes. The printer's in the house, making progress. I still hate the previous owner for screws, fine. But what I absolutely despise that they did with the other bench was it was nailed into the wall. I'm sure it's on this one too. Oh yeah, nails. It's on the bottoms of these two. Absolute pain in the ass to get out, and the only way of doing it was, that's actually the old bench. You have to destroy it because you're just bending and breaking walls and the bench at the same time. Just pry it out and making progress. It is currently Christmas, and I am working back in the garage. Thank you to my sister for a speaker. It's just cheap Walmart one, but the bass hits better, and that's such a vibe right now. Still working on removing this bench since I got the other ones removed. And then I'll get the outlets in, and then I can take down these lights because I'll have lighting below. And then I can actually put drywall up in that corner so that this heater here can actually be installed later. Can't wait until the printer can go there, and then I'll actually have a shop to work in. Because this will basically be a business garage with YouTube on this side, Celotex on this side. By the way, that's what I'm calling the brand. I don't know if I'll have a clothing line out yet. I do have a buddy who makes clothing. For now, I'm just working on making it a vinyl business so I can do wraps and stickers and decals and that. So I'll continue working on the garage so that I can get my future started. Good thing I swept the bench off before moving it. That could have been dangerous. Bench is removed. That's some good progress. I am working now on all these nails. I ended up prying them off of this because this was attached to the wall. It just made it easier to remove all these boards, kind of, from this board. So I could take the bench out and then I can just reuse the same pieces. Instead, I'll just screw that in, lop off the back pieces that fit in between the studs, and then I can reuse the bench. And it'll be just the same as before, maybe a little more wobbly just being it's not part of the garage, it's a piece in the garage. That is out, which means I can keep insulating. And the main thing is running this wire, because if you look, that is not supposed to be like that in any situation. I mean, they did it there and they did it there. They skipped the corner, but that's supposed to be running through the 2x4s so that on this, you can then put drywall. But when it's like that, you then end up screwing into the wires, and that's a hazard, aka a garage fire. So yeah, I will have to finish running outlets across that wall so that I can then plug in lights, switch the breakers so that the lights are off but those outlets are on, and then I can then remove these lights to put up the drywall there so that it's ready for the heater. But gotta rewire the garage just to get drywall up. It's so finicky. Stupid garage. I know it's not the right tool, but Sawzall works pretty well right now. Got the bench put back together. I got screws holding all these in. And as you can see, using the Sawzall, I'm getting these ends cut off so it's actually flat and will sit flat against the wall instead of in between the studs like it used to. Favorite little treasure so far, a googly eye. All right, so bench is out and I got some legs on it. These will end up staying on the front because I'm too lazy to drill holes in that to fit the legs through, and I'd like to sit flush against the wall. So this is how the bench is going to be, and I'm working right now. I got 2 of the outlets in, and I'm working on running the wiring through the wall so that I can plug in the other lights. I do have 2 more of those lights somewhere. I'll have to find them. And then I can light up the garage so that I can run this other lighting wire through the studs instead of on the outside of the studs. Progress is being made. I'm very happy with how far it's coming now. And very soon it'll be looking like a more complete garage. I do need to grab more insulation, but this is kind of now back to taking its time due to budget more than work. So we'll see how it goes, but hopefully this will be done soon. So I got all the wiring done. All these outlets are in and working, and then I got the actual lighting wire ran to here. This is actually a junction to the lights, and then it also goes out to the outlets on this side. What I'm gonna do now is I got this bench with weight on the bottom of it, so hopefully it doesn't fall over. I'm gonna start putting drywall up. I've got to take these lights down. I should be able to take the one down and then by unplugging it, and then the other one can just hang. But I'm gonna try putting those up so that I can actually start finishing the ceiling and at least get this corner done, like this one piece done. There we go. I've temporarily got that light hung up. That one should be able to stay. I'll just put a notch for the wire there. And then I'll have to do something pretty for that wire. But that piece of drywall is up and it's ready for the heater to go up. I will continue working on this later. I'm kind of sick of this for today because that drywall was not easy to get up. This should all be ready for when the heater guy comes in and he can install the heater, and then I won't have to run that guy out of propane every single time I use it, and then that as a backup that sucks all the electricity. So I do also have to, I'll probably continue insulating that now, being I can do that easily, and I'd like at least the exterior walls done. This I'm not as concerned about. That can wait a little bit just because the breezeway is kind of insulation in and of itself, just being it's an air damper. It's not directly outside, so I'm gonna finish up insulating that, and then that should stay nice and warm for this whole winter. So, one, welcome to the house. I don't know if I've shown you inside yet. But two, this is the finished print I'm going to be putting on my car. So this is just going to help advertising locally so people can actually see the brand, and if they want to wrap, they can call the number. It was a whole lot of learning getting this figured out, and that's what that montage was figuring out and getting this printed, laminated, and plotted. I didn't show the laminating because I had to do it by hand, which was not easy. But it is ready now. I've actually got the masking tape on because I don't have transfer paper yet. And I'm gonna go stick that on the car so that it's all set up and good to go. So I start by cleaning the door and making sure there's no dust or debris on it so that the vinyl sticks well. I then take the piece and I stick it on the door with magnets, and that way I can wiggle it around using the magnets. It's not stuck to the door, it can slide. I'm gonna take a quick step back to see how I like it. Once it's ready, then I can go and do my first stick. That'll hold it down and keep it where I want it to start. Gotta say, I love this magnetic squeegee. But I'm gonna start peeling back more of the paper so that I can stick more of the vinyl down. Once I've gotten about half the piece on, I'm just gonna take the rest of the backing paper off and then closely watch the wrinkles as to minimize the amount that are on there. Once I'm satisfied with how it looks and it's stuck down, I'm then gonna work the rest of it in so there's no air bubbles. And then here's where you take off the transfer tape, and oh shit. So what happened here was the tape just started ripping and it was leaving residue, which was like nightmare scenario. I ended up having to get Goo Gone to scrub it off. just use transfer paper. Don't use masking tape like this. I did end up getting it off, but at this point I'm debating what I do as far as getting the residue off, which I just used Goo Gone. Now that I'm back and ready to go, I start cutting the door just so that it'll actually open, and then trimming the door handle so that I can also open that and working the material in. That way I can open the door to get inside the crevices and the vinyl isn't going to tear or stick from just normal use. As you can see now, I open the door, and this is just to get a better access to the vinyl and make sure it's stuck all the way. And then I'm gonna go and post heat so that any areas I'm concerned about, mainly like curves and the edges, will stay down. And there we go. It is now installed. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side now. I do have to scrub off more of the adhesive that was stuck. Turns out that tape was pretty bad. And it ended up leaving a whole bunch of residue on it. So I still have some scrubbing to do. I might just leave it for now, run to town, grab some Goo Gone to rub it off. I guess that'll be an experiment on if it damages vinyl too. That's kind of what I'm doing, is I'd rather practice on my car and figure out what goes wrong in that, rather than a customer's car and then them come back and we'll have that whole issue. So I'm gonna do the other side so that it matches this side. Yeah, making more progress. All right, I'm back now, and I got, we'll say, most of the adhesive removed. Also just cleaned my girlfriend's car, so here it is. I would still like to put Celotex on the banner just so it's visible from the front, and redo the trunk handle because that was also a test and that's not laminated. And with that, on this passenger side, if we look closely here, you'll notice like the bottom is way thinner and cut off than the top. And that's because when I was cutting this, I got the driver's side cut, and then I had some issues cutting the passenger side, and then I was fiddling with the vinyl while it was cutting the number at the bottom, so that ended up messing with it and offsetting it. It's fine for now, but I'd like to pull it off and replace it with a good piece. All right, I think I'm gonna call it there for this video. On the next video, I'll have hopefully this bench done. I'm gonna build this as the workbench, and this whole stall will be for the vinyl business. I'll have the printer over here with the PC set up here, and this side of the shop will be turned back into the old shop, the old corner. I just had to pull the bench out of the wall because it was nailed in, and I need to remove it to, one, drywall it later, and two, insulate it. But a heater will be going here, keeping this nice and warm, and I should be able to make a lot more content for you guys because I won't be freezing or spending 20 bucks every day just to fill up the propane tank. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.